Hi friends, it's Heather Lido Communications. So January, we're getting organized, right? And I am sharing policies and procedures with you to help you get organized. So what we're going to talk about today is not something that's on the top of your mind when you think about you want to get organized. And I'm going to be real honest, but it's so critical. We're talking about an expense policy. Okay, so an expense policy, basically, if you have employees, if you have a sales force, anything like that, you are having somebody that's going out and incurring expenses on behalf of your business, and then they are submitting those expenses for reimbursement. Easy peasy, right? They did it for you. They, did something for your business. They get the money back, right? Well, it should be that easy. So what I see a lot of times in organizations are a couple different things. One, employees think because, well, the company's picking up the tab, I can do whatever I want. So you need to set some parameters around what you consider to be a reasonable expense. Okay, and that's really important to share with your team in your expense policy. And lighting is not great right now. What's it? Ooh, I went dark. So you really need to set those parameters on what is an acceptable expense, what are the limits for expenses, what what they can use their expenses for. Okay, taking your brother-in-law out to Ruth's Chris, probably not a good acceptable expense. Taking a specific high-dollar client to Panera, maybe you might want to find a middle ground there. So that's one thing that you need to make sure that you're including in your expense policy. Okay. Next thing is, what is the documentation required for submitting expenses? And I will tell you a secret. It is not the credit card statement. You need the actual receipt, because the receipt provides the description of what was purchased so that you can know what was actually purchased rather than just a credit card receipt that says Office Depot or Walmart or Target. Okay, so you need that detailed receipt. And a lot of times you'll get pushback on this. Well, it's a credit card receipt. You can use the credit card statement. You see what I spent? No, I need to know what you bought. Okay, the credit card statement does not tell me what you bought. I'm sorry. One of the things that I run into a lot of times with organizations is that people lose the receipt. Okay, and that happens. It happens. So you need to make sure, one, you're requiring receipts, and two, you kind of have a caveat for lost receipts. Okay, because it's just life. It's going to happen. I was trapped in a parking garage, well, not trapped, but I was annoyed in a parking garage the other couple weeks ago, trying to get my card to get it to take my card, and I didn't get the receipt. It happens. So you need to make sure that you set a limit of an acceptable receipt amount that, for a missing receipt. Because if you're missing a $500 receipt, yeah, that's bad news. But if you're missing a $5 receipt, you're okay. Okay. So those are the things that you need to think. That's another thing that you need to think about. Also, when are expense reports due? And I see it a lot. People will be like, oh, I don't have time to do my expense report, my expenses, I'm 3 months behind. Or, oh, I'm going to save it and then I'm going to treat it like a tax refund and use that money as a bonus to do my Christmas shopping. Those things make it really hard to budget. As a financial professional, as a business owner, how can you budget for that? You don't know what people are spending, and if they turn in a huge expense report that's got 7 months worth of expenses, you got to pay that because you don't have it in your policy that you're not gonna. So you need to figure that out. Also, I tell people, give it 60 days. Allow people to turn stuff in within 60 days. That keeps everybody honest. And it gives them a little bit of wiggle room because, you know, sometimes you do get busy, but nobody's that busy for 7 months. I mean, maybe they are, but you've got to find a better way. Okay. Other things that you can include in your expense policy to help you keep organized is some tools and tips to help your employees stay on top of their expenses. Making a home for your receipts. Your receipts go in the home every week. You do the report, you submit it monthly. Bing, bang, boom. Apps, automation that you can put into place to make sure that you are staying on top of this. They take the picture of the receipt with their phone and submit it. That's super helpful as well. That, you know, those systems, they do cost money, but how much time are you spending tracking down and finding with receipts? Okay, so these are all things that you need to consider in your expense policy. What's an acceptable expense? How much? How you're going to deal with supporting documentation such as receipts? How you're going to deal with missing receipts? When do you turn it in? And what happens if they don't turn it in on time? Heather Lytle, Lytle Communications, helping you get organized in January.